Hey, it's Nooch. As you can see, we're joined today by our good buddy Kylo Ren on his minifigure shuttle. So pretty awesome. That's a really good set. Recommend you get it if you can. So Nooch is here, and thought we'd take a little different pace today. Nooch has been playing for almost exactly 90 days, and been playing entirely free to play. Have not spent one dime on the game, and Nooch thought he would show you his progress at 90 days in Lego Star Wars Battles. So we're still in the beta, so there may be things available when the game gets launched globally, but we're just going to show you where we are with our main tower, with our overall level, with our base level. There you go. With our base level, that's what Nooch was trying to find the word and couldn't get at our base level, and for all of our collectible cards in the game. So first, our base level. We're at base level 9, and you can see we're about 10% of the way to 10. This is actually the thing Nooch is most proud of after 90 days. He doesn't see a lot of other players at that level having achieved level 9, and the way you increase your base level is by leveling up your cards. So as your cards level up, they give points towards your base, and then your base levels up as well. So because of the level of all of Nooch's cards, he's been able to get to that higher base. Now let's talk about one thing. Nooch had a previous episode on how to spend, and really at the time had saved up about 2,000 gems after about 2 months. And when the Tauntaun and the Gamorrean and the Ewok glider and the Imperial dropship were released, Nooch spent all 2,000 of those gems in about a week or less just to open up scans as quickly as possible. And before then, Nooch had not really purchased any cards in the shop here, but now Nooch is finding this to be a pretty good value. So if you see there, you can get 10 rare cards for 400 coins. That's a pretty good deal. You can see for the Super Battle Droid, that's 10% of the way to level 8. So look in here for deals. Maybe build your deck up to level 5 or 6. And then as you save up your studs or your coins, start looking in the shop here for deals on your coins. And even down there in the bottom right, the Epic Imperial Dropship, that's 10 shards for 8,000. Not a good deal. Don't do that. But sometimes you can buy those 10, not shards, but those 10 cards of that epic card for 100 gems. And if you look at the value of that in the shop, 800 coins or 8,000 coins would buy you somewhere around 700 crystals. But 100 crystals is only 1,000 coins. So when you see those epic cards offered for 100 crystals, for 10 of them, you're getting 10 cards of an epic card, 10 copies of an epic card for 1,000 coins. So buy that every time you can. If it's a valuable card, if it's something you don't really use or you're not interested in, don't worry about it. But if you see an epic card down there that there's 10 of them for 100 crystals, you should be buying that. Okay. Now, as far as Nooch's deck, so you can see that Nooch has most of his legendaries are at 9. So we got Phasma, Darth Vader, Boba Fett are all at 9. We have Yoda at 9, and we have Luke at 9, and we have yet to unlock Leia. Now that's interesting. Been playing 90 days, have not seen one Leia card come through yet, and Nooch is pretty excited to get her. Now, one thing is going to happen. Nooch needs one more card to get Luke to level 10. Don't think any of these other guys are at that level quite yet. Need 2 more for Phasma, 3 more for the other guys. And this week's leaderboard reward, which is the top right now, we're fighting off if you ain't first, you last. Sorry, buddy. And the reward is 1 Luke card plus 130 gems and 1,650 crystals. So Nooch is hoping he can win the leaderboard this week and get that last Luke card and upgrade him to level 10. So let's see, we have our legendaries basically at level 9, no Leia yet. As far as our other cards, pretty much everything that we're using is level 8 or 9. We see there BB9 is level 7, and our Droid Factory is level 7, but everything else on there is level 8 or 9. Now, one thing that Nooch has said a few times is that you should upgrade your one-shots as much as possible. That's your TIE Bomber, that's your Seismic Charge, your Booma Balls, and your Y-Wing. You see that Nooch has his Y-Wing and his TIE Bomber both at level 9, and the Booma Balls and the Seismic Charge at level 8. When you can upgrade those, or when you have a chance to buy those cards, do it. If you're buying those with value on them, get those cards. get those one-shots upgraded as quickly as possible, because the thing about them is not only are they the most important cards in the game. If you look back at Nooch tiers back a couple months ago, and it's not Nooch crying, it's Nooch tears like a cake. Like ogres have layers, onions have layers, like a wedding cake with tears. Nooch tears. So in that top tier, the Moth tier, were all the one-shots, the bombers, the boomaballs, the seismic charge, and the BB-8 and BB-9. That holds true today. Those are the cards that Nooch never has in his deck unless he's really playing around. And, you know, Nooch does that for you guys. Nooch plays around decks and with different cards just to show you guys what's going on in the game. And that's all for the people, all for the little people out there. So, where was I? So, we're looking at that. So, Nooch has his bombers at 9, his one-shots, a seismic charge, and the boomaballs at 8. Now, BB-8 and BB-9 are only at 7, and the reason for that is they don't gain a lot of value by moving up. Their speed does not get impacted. Their speed is the same. They do a little more damage per second. They have a little more health, but pretty much even at those little more levels of health and damage per second, they're still getting one-shot by just about everything in the game. They can a battle droid can take out a BB-8. So their value really, even at level 7, is just as much as it would be at level 8 or 9. So Nooch is upgrading BB-8 and BB-9 as he goes, but that's not a super priority just because of what they do. You can see the rest of these cards. Level 9 Stormtroopers, level 8 1 Stormtrooper, level 8 Guavian, 8 2 battle droids, level 7 on the battle droid factory. Working on getting that up, kind of working a little bit behind there. Really need to get that to level 8. And level 8 particle beam. So really you're looking at mostly level 7, level 6 and 7 stuff for the stuff that Nooch doesn't use as much, and level 8 and 9 cards for the stuff that Nooch does use a lot. And just consistently through here, level 7, you can see level 8 on those towers because Nooch is using that flame tower and the what's this thing called? The turbo laser a lot at the beginning, because that's what you use at the beginning before you get the particle beam. But once you got the particle beam, that was really the focus to get that upgraded from that point on. And we're still sitting there, so we have it's almost identical on the light side. The commandos are the stormtroopers, the exact same unit on the light side. They're level 9. We've got everything else is level 8 and level 7. Loving the Tauntaun. Love the Tauntaun at level 8. You can get that Tauntaun upgraded. That guy or girl or whatever smells bad on the outside, but does some real damage and puts your opponent in a bad position. We got a video on that. Go watch the Tauntaun video. The level 7 Ewok Treehouse, again, working to upgrade that. But this is the deck that Nooch is using right now. You can see it's all level 7. Now, we could use an upgrade on R2 there. We're using R2, and as R2 upgrades, he does more healing and has more health and does more damage. So the damage isn't the big thing, but having more health and more healing is the big thing with R2. So we could use level 8 R2. You can see we just got to level 7 apparently because we have 0 out of 50 toward level 8. If you get on here, again, most of the cards that Nooch doesn't use a lot are level 6 and level 7. Now, here's something that's fun. Nooch took the Porgs, the flock of Porgs, and the Ewoks out of his lineup for a little bit just to see how it works. And because the Tauntaun is in there, and we're putting those towers out there and healing them, because the Tauntaun is in there, Nooch is able to take that flock of Porgs out because he really functions pretty similarly, except he moves much faster and attacks those towers. So that has enabled Nooch is still winning games with that Tauntaun in there instead of the Ewoks and the flock of Porgs. So just something to think about when you start getting them. That's really all that Nooch is looking at. You know, most you see again the flame and the turbo laser at level 8 on the light side, because that's what Nooch was using at the beginning of the game before he got the particle beam up here. So basically, when you are 3 months into the game, it's something to shoot for, and you can look down the road, maybe mark it on the calendar. When you get to 90 days, you can compare your deck to Nooch's. You can see is all my stuff at level 8 and 9 that I'm using every day, and is my base at level 9 to compare with Nooch's, or if I spent some money to catch up in the meantime. You can see that in the months since Nooch spent all his 2,000 crystals, got back to almost 1,000 crystals. You can earn 72 a day from 5 stud complete victories. You can that's 12 times 6. You get crystals from the leaderboard. You get crystals from the daily logins here. You only get 5 a week. You get crystals from this from the supply beacon. There's lots of ways to earn crystals. So you can really build up at about a pace of 1,000 crystals a month. And that's even, NOOCH has even spent some on some scans to further open more boxes in the scans. NOOCH has spent once or twice on that epic card that we were talking about earlier, this bottom right spot where the dropship is now. If you see the epic card for 100 crystals, that's a really good buy for you. So NOOCH has spent some on that. And really, so you could save up over 1,000 crystals a month just by playing regularly, getting those max wins, and then you can put them toward your deck so that when you get to 90 days, you get to that 3-month mark, your deck can look a lot like NOOCH's. The level 9 base, levels 8 and 9 for what you're using, level 7 and 6 for everything else. That is all NOOCH has to show you today. Hopefully this helps you kind of get a barometer on how you're doing in the game, and it also helps you get a barometer on NOOCH Too Good.